Nana, you'll have to unmute yourself. Sorry.
Om. Om. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyaadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvade Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Vande Guru-paramparam. Now, Brahmara, we will take up the questions.
Yeah, okay. Do you want me to read them or you have the questions?
I have the gist of the questions I have got.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. One from your colleague asking how the position and place would matter for Swadharma, right? I suppose the questionnaire is around?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Very, very good.
Very good, Dev.
No, Hari Om. You are in Australia, is it?
Yes, yes.
Right. Now, look at it this way. The Swadharma will have to be as though adapted depending on the position and the place. Take, for instance, the case of our Prime Minister Modi. If you consider him as a mere member of parliament and goes to Varanasi, he talks to his, constituency people, etc., etc. That dharma is the MP dharma, right? Now, the same Modi has become the Prime Minister. Now he can't be exhibiting the MP dharma only, the Varanasi MP dharma only in New Delhi. He has to exhibit that he kind of owns the country and he is the protector of the country, that he will take care of everybody, all the states. He must adapt himself depending on his second position. Now, regarding the place, same Modi, supposing he goes to New York to address the UN General Assembly, he can't be talking like the Prime Minister of India. He must talk like a statesman. He must talk invoking world peace. He must talk deterrent punishment to whoever will disturb that world peace, right? Strangely, these days he has not been talking against somebody disturbing world peace. Very strange, right? Now, he has to talk like a statesman. So the position, the place will also require the Swadharma to be adapted. The essential features of the Swadharma not lost, but he or she will have to behave in such a way that the situation demanding his his Swadharma is not sacrificed. Okay, that's how it is. I suppose
Thank
I've
you.
answered your questions, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, Brahmara, you were asking, Mahabharata is very rich, etc., in all these things, but we have been talking of Tattvabodha, Atmabodha, why this Mahabharata, and in the Mahabharata, this Gita, we are slightly confused with that kind of a thing. Yeah, it is natural to get confused.
It
You
was
know,
not confusion. It was not confusion. It was like a direct antithesis. Like Atmabodha talks only of the eternal truth, of the nature of the Atma, which
mm,
is permanent and eternal.
mm,
Whereas Mahabharata, the beautiful way in which you brought out the gist almost of how the Kuru dynasty came around,
mm.
was talking of the impermanent, so to say, of the creation. And my question was, what is the role of the Bhagavad Gita in this?
The role of the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
The role of the Bhagavad Gita is to make a better woman tomorrow. Okay? Though it was taught to Partha, it is for all of us to take part in that Amrita. All of us. And that is inside the Mahabharata in the Bhishma Parva. And very strangely, just before the war has started, the Bhagavad Gita was unfolded. Right? Before the war started, Bhagavad Gita was unfolded. Anyway, we will have to get into the detail of the stories of Mahabharata to get to know all these things. There is no antithesis. Why we have to look into Mahabharata is it abounds in a lot of very noble characters, wonderful situations in life, and some criticalities how people have faced, how they have behaved in situations which are very bewildering, and all these things will help us when we go through the stories. We talk of in the Tattvabodh, Shamadamadi, Shat Sampattihi, all those things will be our treasure. As we read the Mahabharata stories, we will come across very, very noble people. Okay, and that is why there is a need to understand how great is this Mahabharata. You and I and all of us, we do not know how many births we have already had and how many more births are waiting for us. Ananta Koti Janmanam. We don't know. Now, we keep on doing the Sankalpa whenever we do the puja, isn't it? In that Sankalpa, what do we do? Dvitiya Paradhe, Vaivasvatamanvantare, Kali Yuge, Pradhamapade, etc., etc. What is this Vaivasvatamanvantara? What is that Dvitiya Paradha? That we have covered slightly during the coverage of the ages document. Dvitiya Paradha is the second half of Brahmaji's age, right?
Yeah.
Brahmaji has crossed 50 years and he is in the 51st year now. In that, Brahmaji's day is said to be Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. This Sahasra Yuga Paryantam is 1000 yugas. And this yuga is not a simple yuga, it is a Mahayuga. Sahasra Mahayuga Paryantam. That Mahayuga is made up of the Kruta Yuga, the Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga put together with their sandhyas. Their sandhyas are each 20% of the span of that yuga. And all those things will make one Mahayuga. And Brahmaji's daytime is 1,000 such Mahayugas. And during Brahmaji's daytime, there will be 14 Manus. 14 Manus. And these 14 Manus will share this 1,000 Mahayugas equally. When that happens, each Manu will get approximately 71 Mahayugas. 71 Mahayugas, my God. You know what? It will be the present Manvantara, which is Vaivasvata Manvantara. It is said to be 306 million years span. 306 million years span. And it is also said Ramayana would have happened during the 24th Treta Yuga during this Manvantara. Why 24th Treta Yuga? Because in the Vaivasvata Manvantara, he is spanning what? 71 Mahayugas. 71 Mahayugas. In that, in the 24th Mahayuga, there is a Treta Yuga coming. In that Treta Yuga, it is believed Ramayana occurred, right? Now we are in the Kali Yuga, and the Dwapara Yuga ended with Bhagavan Krishna's Niryanam. The day Bhagavan Krishna called it a day, Kali Yuga began. And this Mahabharata war, Pandits say, occurred between 3,500 and 5,000 years before Christ. That means 3,500 to 5,000 years before Christ. Quite a bit. And that is indicative of the end of Dwapara Yuga. It is the end of Dwapara Yuga, is it not? Because Bhagavan Krishna's Nidhyanam, and then the Kali Yuga starting. So these yugas have thrown up a lot of wonderful things. In Ramayana, Shri Rama, who lived like a man and shown to the world how a man should live. Whatever difficulties are there, you are welcome to react to them like a man. But when the action comes, you have to take action as though you are a divinity. For instance, Sri Rama was asked by Dasharatha to get ready next day morning for anointment as the heir apparent, as the Yuvaraja. Sri Rama said, okay, father, went away, and informed his mother, informed his, Lakshmana. The other two brothers were not there, and informed Mother Sita also. They were getting ready for the Yuvaraja coronation, kind of. Within a few hours, there is a call from Kaikeyi's palace, and Sri Rama goes there, and he was informed that he will have to go to the forest for 14 years, and Bharata will be crowned the Yuvaraja. Sri Rama said, okay, and went away. And this is saying, okay, with equal equal felicity. There is no anger in his face. There is no sorrow that is expressed. He simply came back and told his mother, brothers, etc. Here, the great character of Mother Sita comes. Mother Sita should have, as the daughter-in-law of that house, got terribly upset. But no, she said she was getting ready to go to the forest along with Sri Rama. That is the greatness of those characters projected in Ramayana. There is Sugriva, a great friend, a person who will befriend everybody. And there is Hanuma, and there is the wild Ravana. All these people will tell us where all we need to learn from and where all we need to also unlearn. From Ravana, we have to unlearn a lot of things. He had 10 heads, isn't it? Each head thinking differently. That is how he could not decide. So he was a man who was a split personality. In spite of very sound advice given by his courtiers, his brothers Kumbhakarna gave him advice and Vibhishana gave him advice to give Mother Sita away to Rama and beg his pardon. Ravana would not let go Mother Sita, no, etc. So what I am saying is, there are a lot of characters in all these epics we have to learn from. And coming to Mahabharata, my God, Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam. Nanakyanaka, there are, like in a lotus, how many stamens are there? Those kind of big chapters are there in Mahabharata, and they reveal a lot of other stories. Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam. And when we go through them, we will know how deficient we are compared to the noble characters, those who are depicted by Bhagavan Vyasa. So our effort will be to measure up to them. In the process, we will get the Shama, Dama, Adi, Shat Sampatti. It's not a mere idle pursuit, nor is it an antithesis. It is leading to our picking up the truths of the Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita happens to be a part of the Mahabharata. Okay? Now, in Mahabharata, there are 18 chapters. Before we go to that, Brahmara has got another question. Yeah. Dhamma. How long we have to control the sense organs? How long to control the sense organs? Isn't it? That was a question.
To what extent? What is the optimum dhamma that we have to exercise? Is there an optimum dhamma? Because you require the senses to a certain extent to satisfy the senses.
Yeah.
So is there a cutoff? Is there some? That was my question.
Brahmara, you have forgotten your yesteryears. When your children were very young, okay, Aishu, Kalyan were young, you used to put them to sleep and they would protest saying, I'm not getting sleep. You would say, close your eyes and sleep. If, say, Aishu had asked you, how long to close my eyes, what would have been your reply? Till you sleep. Till you sleep, close your eyes. Same reply would have been given to Kalyan also. So, the Shama, Dhamma, Adi, Shat Sampatti, we must acquire in such a way that we are absolutely happy acquiring those. That acquisition of those should not become painful to us. If it becomes painful, it is a problem. We must acquire these as though we are playing a game. In the process, in the Kathopanishad, there is a beautiful analogy given by Lord Yama to Nachiketa. I will read out those slokas. Atmanam radhinam vidhi shariram radhamevatu buddhim tu saradhim vidhi mana pragrahamevacha. What it says is, Atma, Atman is the Asami sitting in the chariot. Atmanam radhinam vidhi. Radhinam means the one seated comfortably like Arjuna in his chariot. And who is driving that? Parthasarathi is driving that. Arjuna is the Atma, he is the Radhinam. Buddhim tu saradhim vidhi. Buddhi, that is Kitapa, sorry, beg your pardon, all of you. I tend to address Bhagavan Krishna as Kitapa. That's kind of very dear to me. Please don't mistake me that I am, being in an insulting mood to Bhagavan Krishna. No. So, Kitapa is the Buddhi. Buddhim tu saradhim vidhi. Manaha pragrahamevacha. The reins are the mind. Manaha pragrahamevacha. Then, what are the indriyas? Indriyani hayanapuhu. The sense organs are said to be the hayan. Hayan means the horses. The horses. And what are the indriya vishayas? The indriya vishayas are the paths that the horses tread. Indriyani hayanyapuhu vishayam teshu gocharan. Vishayan, indriya vishayan, teshu, for horses, gocharan, what is visible to them? Atmendriya manoyuktam bhokte chahur manishinaha. This jiva will enjoy, suffer, having the indriyas and the mind. Okay? Now, whoever absolutely controls the mind and the senses, the mind is what? The pragraham, right? The reins. The reins will control what? The horses. When the reins control the horses, what happens? The horses will listen to the Saradhi. The Saradhi is Ketapa. So, Saradhi will have absolute control of the mind and the sense organs. When that happens, what happens? The horses tread on the paths chosen by Kitapa, the Buddhi. That is when you will have gained the Shamadamadi Shat Sampatti. Atmanam radhinam vidhi, shariram radhamevatu, buddhim tu saradhim vidhi, manaha pragrahamevacha, indriyani hayanahuhu, vishayang teshu gocharan, atmendriya manoyuktam, bhuktetya manishinaha. So, we have to see there's no end. There's no end. The only end will be when we get satisfied. And how do we get satisfied? How do we know? Shama, Dama, we have acquired nicely. You will know when you are in a position to see yourself in everybody, and you are in a position equally to see everybody else in you. then you have really graduated to that level. Till then, you have to keep on, like you tell Aisho, close your eyes and sleep. You have to close your eyes and sleep. Right? Now,
Yeah. Okay.
now I would like to get into Mahabharata a little, because a lot of people do not know how voluminous is this great epic and what all does it contain. Okay, it is a voluminous epic which contains 100,000 verses, and this was dictated by Vyasa Bhagavan to none other than Bhagavan Ganesha. I believe this was at the behest of Brahmaji. When Vyasa Bhagavan was worried as to how to write, the thinking and writing, etc., it's becoming a very difficult thing. Then Brahmaji appeared, I believe, like Brahmaji appeared to even Valmiki in the Ramayana Kala. Right? These are parallels. Great rishis will have great darshans. So Brahmaji's darshan to Valmiki, Brahmaji's darshan to Vyasa Bhagavan. And he tells Vyasa Bhagavan, you pray to Lord Ganesha, he will help you. Then he prays to him, he'll come. But he puts a condition, I believe, this Ganesha. Hey Vyasa Bhagavan, when you start dictating, no stop. You must keep on dictating non-stop. The moment you stop, I will stop and go away. Vyasa Bhagavan said, okay, but put another counter condition. All right. When I dictate, you must understand and write. Without understanding, you should not write. Right? Then Ganesha said, okay. That is how I believe in this great epic Mahabharata, which abounds in 100,000 verses. There are about 80 or 88,000 verses, I believe, which are very difficult to understand even for Ganesha. And those were pumped in by Vyasa Bhagavan at intervals to permit him to design what else, what other story to say next, and how to say, etc., etc. That is how the story goes. Now, there are 18 parvas in Mahabharata, right? The first parva is Adi Parva, Sabha Parva, then Aranya Parva. It is also called Vana Parva, then Virat Parva, then Ujjoga Parva, then Bhishma Parva, where our Gita lies. In the Bhishma Parva, Gita is. Then Drona Parva, Karna Parva, Shilya Parva, Sauptika Parva, Stri Parva, Shanti Parva, Anuशासनिक Parva, Ashwamedha Parva, Ashramavasa Parva, Mausala Parva, then Mahaprasthana Parva, and Swargarohana Parva. I think I have missed, yeah, Mausala Parva, Mahaprasthana, Swargarohana. Now all these Parvas put together, they account for about 85,000 verses, I believe. But we are saying Mahabharata is 100,000 verses, but there is an end portion of Mahabharata, which is called the Khila Parva, the end Parva, which is Harivamsham, which contributes to the balance verses, I believe, to make it 100,000 verses mega epic, mega document. Now, these parvas, what do they contain? What are the stories? Adi Parva gives the Vamshanukramanika. Adi Parva gives the stories of Garuda. It gives the stories of the Sarpayaga initiated by Janamejaya and how a Rishikumara Astika, how he stopped it. Then Adi Parva that has a lot of other beautiful stories. Then continues the Sabha Parva. In the Sabha Parva, the Pandavas would have gone to the Indraprastha and they make their capital very nicely. They create a wonderful hall that is called Maya Sabha. Then Narada appears there and tells a story of Sunda Upasunda, two great demon brothers. They had a boon from Brahmaji that nobody can kill them. No Astra Shastra can kill them. Only each of them fighting can kill each other. So Narada gives a story of that, tells the Pandavas, hey, you have got one wife, you are 5 husbands. You better evolve some strategy as to how you take care of Draupadi, and goes away. That kind of a thing. Subsequently, there is a Rajasuya Yaga that is performed during the Sabha Parva. And in the Rajasuya Yaga, plenty of wealth was distributed, plenty of food was given, and that made Duryodhana very jealous of the Pandavas. He goes back to Hastinapura and manages to have the game of dice in which Yudhishthira is defeated, and afterwards there was a second round of game of dice. In that also he was defeated, and because of that, as per the agreement, Pandavas were to go to the forest for 12 years, and in the 13th year, they were supposed to live incognito. And if they are discovered in the 13th year, they will have to repeat the cycle again. That kind of an agreement. That is the Sabha Parva. Sabha Parva also depicts how cruelly Draupadi was insulted in the Rajya Sabha. How badly, and how Bhagavan Krishna came to her help. That is Sabha Parva. Then Aranya Parva. They go to the forest, and in Aranya Parva, Yudhishthira prays to the sun god, gets the Akshaya Patra, with which Draupadi manages to keep on giving food for whoever comes. But the condition is, till such time that she has not had her lunch, the Akshaya Patra will give food, sumptuous food. The moment she finishes her food, Akshaya Patra will shut its doors for that day. That's that kind of a thing. See, this beautiful story is there. Then in the Vanaparva, there's a story of how even Rishi Durvasa had to run away from the Pandavas. He came there to insult the Pandavas and curse them at the behest of Duryodhana, but how he was made to kind of run away with his 10,000 disciples. All this because of Bhagavan Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna comes on the day when Durvasa came to insult Yudhishthira and Draupadi and the Pandavas, and asked Draupadi, hey Draupadi, sister, I'm feeling very hungry, give me some food. Draupadi says, oh Anna, I have finished my food. This Akshaya Patra cannot give any other food. Krishna says, let me see the patra. In that patra, somewhere in the corner, there was an unwashed speck of food. And Krishna takes that speck of food and says, Aham Truptaha. When Bhagavan Krishna is Truptaha, the three worlds are Truptaha, not to speak of Durvasa and his 10,000 disciples. They will be forced to run away. When Sahadeva or Bhima go there to pick them up for lunch, they run away with bloated bellies because their feeling is they have partaken a lot of food. They go away. That story is there. This Vanaparva has stories of Naladamayanti. Vanaparva has the story of Ramayana. In the Nalaparva, in the Vanaparva, Ramayana is narrated very nicely. Why Ramayana is narrated? When Yudhishthira keeps on worrying that he is the only one who is suffering like this, when Rishi comes there, hey, what is this? What is your suffering? Look at Rama, poor prince of Ayodhya, who was to be crowned, the Yuvraj, and within hours he was thrown into the forest and he happily went away. And in the forest, Mother Sita was taken away by Ravana, and poor Rama and Lakshmana, they were running hither and thither to find out where Mother Sita could be. Unable to find, they started worrying. What kind of a problem you have got, Yudhishthira? The Rishi was telling Yudhishthira, you have got Draupadi with you. You got your other brothers with you. Whereas Rama had just Lakshmana with him, and his wife was taken away, God knows by whom, etc. That kind of suffrage Rama went through. Your suffering is nothing. You will find very good days shortly. Don't worry. That kind of a thing. So, the Vanaparva abounds in a lot of other beautiful stories also. After Vanaparva, what? Virat Parva. In the Virat Parva, these Pandavas and Draupadi, they are required to live incognito, which they successfully do. And towards the end of that, there was the Uttara Gograhanam. That is, in the northern side, Duryodhana and others, they come there and take away a lot of the cattle sampada of the Virat king. That is when Arjuna single-handedly, without any support, except the support of Uttara, who would be his driver, he almost single-handedly vanquishes the Kaurava army's valor and makes them run away to Hastinapura. That kind of an Arjuna, when it comes to Gita, he presents a different picture. We will see that, right? So that is Virat Parva. And after the Virat Parva, and incidentally, this Uttara Gograhanam happens when that 1 year living incognito was completed by the Pandavas. And this was confirmed by Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya to Duryodhana, who would not believe that, who would not agree. That's okay. Now, after Virat Parva, there is Udyoga Parva. In that Udyoga Parva, Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself goes to Hastinapura as an ambassador, broking peace on both sides. And he was not successful. And not only that, Bhagavan Krishna was about to be imprisoned by Duryodhana and his vile characters. Then Bhagavan Krishna shows his Vishwarupa gives darshan to Dhritarashtra also. When Dhritarashtra begs to see that Vishwarupa, he gives temporarily the darshan. And later on, Dhritarashtra requests Krishna to please make him blind again. He does not want to see the dirty world after he has seen Bhagavan Krishna's Vishwarupa. That is Udyoga Parva. Then in the Udyoga Parva, you will come across a lot of stories, including the story of Shikhandi. Shikhandi, born as a girl, becomes a man. And this Bhishmacharya knew from the beginning. And this Shikhandi is none other than Amba. Amba is what? One of the three princesses whom Bhishmacharya brought to Hastinapura to give in marriage to his younger brother. But this Amba said, I have loved so and so, so and so. And that person whom she loved, he indeed fights Bhishma. At that time, Amba should have pleaded with Bhishma, please don't fight him, I love him, give me back to him. She did not say. She was a very, very vile character. Maybe she wanted to see Hastinapura, wanted to see how is this Vichitravirya is there, etc., etc. And after coming to Hastinapura, she says all this and she wants to go back. And goes back, fails. The person whom she loved refuses to be her husband. Okay? He says, you have gone somewhere and how can I take you back? You go away. Then she vows to kill Bhishma. That kill Bhishma was not possible. In that Janma, she takes birth as Shikhandi and later on as though helps Arjuna, because Bhishmacharya tells Duryodhana and all his brothers, he will not fight either a woman or a woman who became a man later, or a person who does not have the bow and arrows, etc., etc. He puts some conditions, puts all those conditions, and gives the information regarding Shikhandi, that story. That is in the Udyoga Parva. Then Bhishma Parva, in which this Gita is, the gem of Mahabharata is. After Bhishma Parva, Drona Parva, again it's a Bhishma Parva, Drona Parva, Karna Parva, Shalya Parva, all these depict the way the fighting went on and how the 18 Akshauhinis of both armies together, they have got extinguished. So that so on up to Shalya Parva. Then in the Sauptika Parva, Ashwathama, Dronacharya's son, he vows to eliminate Pandavas, and when they are sleeping, he goes there to kill all of them. But Bhagavan Krishna very intelligently takes all the Pandavas to a different place. And this Ashwathama kills the Upapandavas. Upapandavas are the sons of Draupadi. And he kills Drashtajumna, he kills some other warriors, etc., etc., and sets fire to that Pandava camp. It was a very cruel act of Ashwathama. And he was a very learned person. He was a great fighter. He was a respected fighter. But in spite of it, he behaved in such a very, very, very impious manner, right? And for which he will pay later. This is the Sauptika Parva. Then Stri Parva. In the Stri Parva, Bhagavan Vyasa introduces all those people who have passed away, and people will see and they will cry and things like that. The Anchakriyas were done during the Stri Parva. After Stri Parva, Shanti Parva. In the Shanti Parva and Anuशासनिक Parva, these two Parvas are very, very big. In the Mahabharata, these two take the cake. These two will be about 1/3 of the total Mahabharata. And in this, plenty of stories are there. Plenty of dharmas are there. Raja Dharma is there. Right? Samanya Dharma is there. Moksha Dharma is there. Vishesha Dharma is there. And Brahmara wanted to know elaboration of dharmas. All those things are in Mahabharata. Right? How, as a woman, the woman has different roles, and that each role calls for a dharma. The Matru Dharma of the woman, the dharma as a wife, Stri Dharma, okay? The dharma as a mother, Matru Dharma, dharma as a sister, dharma as a daughter prior to this. All these dharmas are beautifully depicted in the 18 chapters, 18 parvas of Mahabharata. And after the Anuशासनिक Parva, incidentally, in the Anuशासनिक Parva, we have the Vishnu Sahasranamam. We have also the Shiva Sahasranamam, right? And we have the Ashwamedha Parva later. Yudhishthira performs Ashwamedha Yaga, so that is depicted nicely, very nicely. And after that, Ashwamedha Parva, we have the Mausala Parva. Mausala Parva is Musalam. Musalam is the Yadavas killing each other mercilessly because of a curse of rishis. That's all depicted beautifully. Mausala Parva. And that would be the end of the Yadava race. After Mausala Parva, you got the Ashramavasa Parva, where Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, they will retire to the forest to spend their last years in Vanaprastha mode of life, Ashramavasa Parva. Then Mahaprasthana Parva, Pandavas and Draupadi, they anoint Parikshit as the king and go away to the forest, to the Himalayas, etc. And on the way, except Yudhishthira, all others will fall dead. That is Mahaprasthana Parva. Afterwards, Swarga Arohana Parva. Yudhishthira will, with his life intact, will go to Swarga. And that is all beautifully depicted. This is how Mahabharata gives a lot of information to us. A lot of Niti Shastra is there. A lot of Dharma Bodha is there. Right? What are the do's and don'ts? You got the wild characters in Shakuni and Duryodhana. How you should never try to be like them is also very, very nicely given. And how you should not be like even Karna, who he has got some good qualities and he's a bag of good and bad qualities. Right? He has a good quality that he will stick by the word given. That was the problem with him. He stuck to that word. That is good, very right. The other thing is, he had an inferiority complex. In the heart of hearts, he believed he was a princely person. But he was being called Sutaputra. Sutaputra, incidentally, is the Putra born to a Kshatriya and a Brahmin lady. Kshatriya begetting on a Brahmin lady, a boy, that boy becomes a Sutaputra. That is how. Anyway, he had that inferiority complex. He could not get over that. So all these things, how not to be like Karna, how to pick up the good qualities of Karna also is there. Mahabharata gives all these beautiful inputs. If we have time, we must pick up that Mahabharata and start reading. If not today, tomorrow. And when we start reading, we should not let go. Because if you let go, there will be a lot of other hindrances. It is your Purushartha, your willpower, that will decide what good things you can do in life. What good things you can do in life. You pick up a book and see the end of that book. That is the sheer determination born out of your free will. That is the Purushartha. And that will give you a lot of comfort towards the end. Not for priding yourself that you have read Mahabharata, but for being very, very happy that you have learned such a lot of great treasure of noble qualities which are available through the characters of Mahabharata. That's how. Mahabharata 18 parvas, and Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters. The war went on for 18 days. Right? And the total number of armies put together, 18 Akshauhinis. And in the Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters, I said. Beautiful, lovely chapters names. The names of the chapters are Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. This yoga means it's not any Patanjali yoga or anything like that. The yoga means, Arjuna Vishada Yoga means, it is the subject matter of Arjuna's sorrow. That yoga means subject matter, Sangati. Okay, subject matter. Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya is a subject matter. Then Karma Yoga. Then Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Then Sannyasa Yoga. Then Atma Samyama Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. Then Jnana Vijnana Yoga, Akshara Brahma Yoga, Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga, Vibhuti Yoga, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, Purushottama Yoga, Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. Then the penultimate thing is what? Is called what? Guna. Earlier we have been done. Huh?
Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga is over.
Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga is done in the 14th chapter. Now in the 7th.
Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga.
Huh?
Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga.
Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. There are 3 types of Shraddhas. Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Then culminating in Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, which is a beautiful chapter, beautifully conveyed by Bhagavan Krishna to his Chela Arjuna. Arjuna not only was his Chela, he was also related to him. We will see how it is tomorrow, right? Any other questions?
So is Bhagavatam part of Mahabharata or it is a separate?
No, separate.
Separate.
Yeah. Okay, if there are no questions, I will tell you how Arjuna was related to Bhagavan Krishna. There was a princely person called Shurasena, and to him one daughter was born. She was named Prutha. He had one colleague or cousin of his, Kunti Bhoja. That Kunti Bhoja did not have any children. So this Shurasena promised him, hey, don't worry, I will give my firstborn to you. So this Prutha was given away to Kunti Bhoja. From then on, this Prutha became Kunti. Right? Now, where is the relationship between Arjuna and Krishna? Shurasena has, after Prutha, Vasudeva as his son. And Bhagavan Krishna is what? Vasudeva Sutam Devam. So he is a son of Vasudeva. So what happens to Prutha and Krishna? Directly, yeah,
The brother
paternal aunt. Paternal aunt. Is it not? And that paternal aunt's son is Arjuna. So that there is a relationship. We are on to 8 o'clock. Hari Om, all of you. We will meet tomorrow again, right? Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.